Welcome to the Look Club, where we bring virtual reality into reality.
I'm really excited about today's piece.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the Lost and Found song.
Huh?
Wait, what's the Lost and Found song?
You know, it's like super famous. Okay. I can't sing, but I once was lost, but now am found.
Oh, the wrench song.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? No, you mean Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. 'Twas blind, but now I see.
Yeah, this piece is like, could see, but now am blind.
Oh, that's an awful sales pitch. I mean, nobody asks to be blind.
Yeah, but this piece, Notes on Blindness, lets you be blind. Like before VR, if you wanted to get a sense of what it was like to be blind, you had to go full Oedipus, or close your eyes and stumble around, or
pepper spray yourself.
yeah,
What?
Okay, it was an accident. My roommate's accident, but still, she got me in the eyes a little.
Oh,
You need to move out.
Oh my goodness. This show is going to give us a record of all the times we say that to you.
Oh my god. So great. So yeah, if you didn't have Erika's roommate, your options were pretty much stab your eyes out or bump into furniture.
And it turns out that's not actually what it's like to be blind.
You know, blind people walking around in the streets never bump into me, but seeing people do all the time.
Oh, seeing people are idiots. What? They are. I mean, not you though.
Well, okay, so Notes on Blindness uses audio that was recorded by this author, John Hull. And he took this audio while he was going blind, like for real.
And then the folks at Arte Experience digitally painted Hull's experience. So in a VR headset, you get to see what he's describing, sort of how he's experiencing it.
And then they spatialize the audio so it's coming from all directions like in the real world, not just two directions like a movie theater with stereo.
Which is kind of an impressive undertaking. I mean, it's really one of the first times that spatialized audio has been used for storytelling.
Yeah, there's still a lot of firsts happening in VR, so anybody learning about it now is still on the cutting edge.
Even the experts are still trying to figure out how to talk about VR narrative. So, we will explain. This piece, Notes on Blindness, is what we call an embodied first-person narrative participant mortal experience.
Meaning, we'll feel like we're John Hull, listening to his thoughts and sharing the same visual experience. Now, we can affect the story, but we can't affect the way we experience it, because we'll always be John Hull in a predetermined place and time.
So those 5 words really do tell us a lot about the experience, but what I want to know, is it any good?
Well, that's what we're here to find out.
Okay, ladies, are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Put our headsets on,
Okay.
turn on our apps, and enter VR.
Enter VR.
VR.
Sitting in the park with the children, I hear the footsteps of people walking past me on the footpath.
So what did we think?
For me, it gave a sense of how overwhelming having sound and not sight could be.
Yeah, I mean, it really shows how much information sound carries.
It was cool how the wind, like when you looked in a direction, painted out the space. It really gave a sense of how, for the blind, sound paints a picture.
Totally. I mean, it gave me a different perspective on what a beautiful day means.
Yeah.
And when his kids showed up in the park, their voices sounded familiar, like they were emotionally attached to me.
Listening to the rain inside went on a little long.
Well, only until you discovered the different sounds by looking in their directions.
Oh, I had control. Okay, well that would explain why I was in there twice as long as you guys.
Well, I liked that you could move at your own pace.
Yeah, because you knew you could.
I also liked that sound became shapes that took on the richness of the sound.
Oh yeah, like when you looked in the direction of the roof leak, after a while you'd start to see the shape of the pot that was catching the rain and creating the drip sound.
It really was like the sound was painting a picture.
I also like that even though you only needed to look in a 180 field of view, you could look behind you and there was stuff there.
Yeah, it made it feel real, like you were in that world, even though you never needed to look behind you to follow the story or to have the full experience.
Yeah, I mean, because when there's nothing behind you in VR, it always feels like a bit of a dead zone, almost like a fourth wall break, because it really just pulls you out of the story.
Yeah, a properly designed environment really sets me at ease, and this was very properly designed.
I really liked the choir segment at the end. Do you guys have any thoughts about why maybe that one was the only one in color?
I kind of thought that maybe that's how a blind person would see before they totally lost their sight.
Huh.
Yeah, and it made me think of like maybe just your mind working to imagine something there.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
And maybe more so because we hadn't seen color in 20 minutes.
40 minutes.
I really like how in the end, they conveyed how nothing was missing without the sight. And in fact, it was even maybe more rich.
Yeah, I really liked how it kept his story and his voice alive. I don't think we would have appreciated it as much or as well if it were just audio.
It is a really effective use of VR. And even though it uses voiceover, it's not telling. Right? It lets the sighted viewer experience what it's like to be blind.
So, shall we reveal our rating?
Yes. Thumb roll, please.
2 thumbs up.
Woo!
Woohoo!
So to summarize, Notes on Blindness is an embodied, first-person narrative, participant mortal experience.
And it was effective because you felt like it was your story, like you were the person going blind.
You feel engaged because you really can create part of the world through your choices by looking around, discovering things, and triggering the next part of the story.
And because you can't regain your sight at the click of a button, blindness becomes your experience for the whole time, no matter how long you're stuck in there.
Eve, did you think the controls were not intuitive?
Meh. It was a little glitchy when I ran it, and that's just where we are with the technology, so I don't want to blame the programmers, but I mean, hey, I figured it out eventually, and we all know seeing people are idiots.
Well, that's the truth.
For more information on Notes on Blindness, like where and how to see it, check out the description below, or visit our website at thelook.club.
Until next time, here's
Here's looking at you, kid.